This video will give you everything that you need to know to draw a face, whether that's with emotion, to just figure out proportions. Let's get started. For this, I'm using charcoal pencils. I have a golden rule of not using pencils whatsoever, but we shall make an exception because when you're practicing, I feel like you need that sort of safety net of pencils. However, do not pick up a rubber. I forbid you. It is forbidden. No rubbers. You usually get a range of pencils. I'm probably just going to use a medium. With any drawing, I always start off with a circle. Obviously we're drawing a face, so you want a circle that kind of comes to the bottom of the nose and the top of the head. After that, we're going to draw a cross formation, and then we're going to start to mark in the eyes. I use the eyes as the anchor of the face. This will give us a good focus on where the measurement is to the nose. Do you see? Kind of have a triangle going on here and a cross going on here. It makes it really simple for you to know for the future when you can't hear my voice talking to you about how to draw. After I've marked in the eyes and the nose, I will then mark in, usually people have some sort of cheekbones. If not, it doesn't really matter because the line also goes to the corners of the mouth, conveniently enough. We're going to follow a line going down this way and a line going down this way. It also marks out, as you can see, the corners of your eyebrows, 2 eyes, 2 corners of your mouth. Does that make it simple enough? One tip that will also help you out if you're terrible for drawing ears is that if you can see here, the top and bottom of your ears also match up to the top
of your eyelid.
So that top there to the top of your ear there. So you have all these lines that line up, go in all sorts of directions. In this video I am drawing a child's face. I'm not drawing an adult's face. The shape of the head is more rounded, whereas for a woman's head it is usually more of an oval shape, and for guys or men I tend to go with a more rectangular head shape just because the jawline comes out a bit more. It usually comes out to about here evenly and then goes across that way, whereas a woman's goes more rounded. For the eyes, I tend to usually draw a dot either side of the eyes with a circle. Like I said, I start everything off with a circle usually. I just want you to do a circle and do the dot either side, do a dot either side, and then I want you to draw another circle, which is going to be this part here, your actual iris, I believe it's called, and then you have your pupil, which is the black part inside of it. Fun fact, the pupil is actually a hole in your eye and it gets bigger and wider depending on if you need more light. So if it's a dark room, your pupils are going to get really big, or if you like someone, your pupils get really big. For the nose, I usually do a circle for the middle part and 2 smaller circles for the side. However, depending on what nationality you go to draw, it will change the shape of the nose. For example, some of my family are Jamaican and their nostrils at the side are sort of even to the center part of their nose, whereas because I'm more English, I have a triangular shape. And I always used to hate this about myself, but I've started to accept it. And then because I am English, these nostril parts here are smaller than the tip of my nose. So, little fun fact, if you are trying to draw someone of a nationality, maybe do some research or look at some photos of people from that nationality. It also helps when you're trying to create a character that is in a different universe, or if you're trying to build your own world when you're creating characters. This sort of research is important if you want to get those details correct and not insult somebody. Next, move on to the lips. Just keep it really simple. Because I am drawing a child, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, and because this is practice for you, I suggest you follow my advice. So if you do the dots for the corner of the mouth, and then very simply do a very small circle across the bottom part, and then do 2 circles for these little puffs. I don't actually know the real names of the lips structure, but it is muscles, so you need to remember that it's not just a line, you need to actually draw the shape. And if you use circles, it usually makes your drawing a lot more 3D rather than flat. Because if your drawing is flat, it's not believable. It just looks like you just drew something out of your head. Maybe consider looking at some references. With the cheeks, you might want to add a little bit of shading for either side. Obviously, they're not a grown adult, so they might not have developed their cheekbones yet. But it just highlights like a little bit of like little blush, little bit of smile. And then yeah, you can add a little bit of shading for around the forehead. You don't need to do a lot. For the hair, I'm keeping it very simple once again. When it's a child, their hair is usually a bit more carefree, free, wild, a bit more natural. And usually with children, they are much more natural because they don't care what they look like yet. If you're practicing, just practice. Don't look at a timer, don't look at your watch. Enjoy the drawing process. Enjoy that you are practicing. Understand that if you are starting to practice and you're starting to get better, your hand might start to hurt, and that's a good sign. That's a really good sign that you're putting in the time and the effort. So do not be afraid of that. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you learned something from it. That's very important. If you like this video, show some love, give it a like. If you feel like you want to learn more from me, then subscribe, follow me, do whatever you feel like. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.